All right, so I'm going to talk about the latest cannon fodder for the media. Now they have something to talk about. It is none other than Ja Morant. Ja Morant. So he's back in the news. And if you go to the Wikipedia page, Ja Morant's name is Temetrius Jamel, quote unquote, Ja Morant, born August the 10th, 1999. Ja Morant was not heavily recruited in high school, from what I've seen. He ended up at a mid-level college called Murray State. He played at Murray State for 2 years, I think, from 2017 to 2018, and then 2018 to 2019, before being drafted by the Memphis Grizzlies, which was, from what I understand, an expansion team. He was the second pick overall in 2019 by the Memphis Grizzlies. He signed a 4-year contract for $39 million. Now, so him being born in 1999 will make him 23. In August, he'll be 24 years old. So he is a very young man under the circumstances. Okay, Ja Morant stands at 6'2" and 174 pounds. He was born in South Carolina. Both of his parents are still living, and they are still in his life. So he had previously had an incident about 2 months ago where he was on Instagram flashing a handgun, and he apologized and said he wouldn't do it again. So you have one camp saying that he didn't do anything wrong, no one was injured, and you have another camp on the other side saying that he has to take more responsibility. Personally, I'm talking about it because it's in the news, it's all over the place, it's a big deal, and his career is at risk. I do believe he has a chance, if he approaches it the right way, he has a chance to redeem himself, and he can continue to be a professional athlete. He's only 23, and he has a large contract, some say over $200 million. So he does have a chance to pull himself back together. He's probably going to face a heavy suspension and may not be able to play for. I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't let him play for all of 2023. That could possibly happen to him. So he'll have plenty time, a whole year, to either get in some more incidents or not. So no one was injured. So you, like I said, you have two counts. No one was injured, and then you have other counts that says you have to have responsibility. But he did apologize. So apparently he thought he had done something that was incorrect, because he did make an apology the first time, and he's recently made an apology the second time. So for the people who say that he has a right to have a gun, sure, he has a right to have a gun, but he's representing the NBA. I don't believe that you could work at your local Piggly Wiggly and be on Facebook and showing, or Instagram, showing a gun in a menacing way, or just showing one for that matter, and not get fired. They will fire you from most any job. Now, the NBA has a reputation, but they're also, and they have a reputation or an image to uphold, but they're also an employer. So even though he signed a large contract, he's still an employee. And they have moral clauses in contracts that you may not know about. And Charles Barkley mentioned this tonight, saying that in contracts, they might tell you that you cannot ski, you cannot ride motorcycles, and they will limit your activity outside of basketball. Some baseball players that were drafted highly, like the Seattle Mariners' most famous player, Ken Griffey Jr., he had in his contract, his father was telling him, don't be outside playing pickup football or any type of recreational sports. And I just threw that in there, saying that there are things in contracts that prevent you from doing whatever you want to do. So once you sign these contracts, you just cannot carry on and do what you want to do because they have invested heavily in you. So if his goal was to get suspended, then he made a good decision by being in that situation. If his goal was not to get suspended, then it was dumb. That's how you know the difference. And you can also fall back on the great Neely Fuller's way of describing things. Is in life you have things that are either constructive or they're not. And a lesson that is not learned will be repeated. I'm going to say that again. A lesson that is not learned will be repeated. So if you don't learn your lesson 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, or however many times it takes you to learn your lesson, then you will keep repeating the same quote unquote mistake. My opinion on this situation is we'll know how he feels about it because it doesn't affect me, you, or the public. I do believe his cannon fodder is something for the media to talk about. They could have easily brushed it under the rug like they have done with superstar ex-football players like Brett Favre, his situation. No one talks really about that anymore. There are other guys who've done things. No one talks about Dana White anymore. So there are with his situation with his wife. So there are lots of things that can be talked about, and some things are exaggerated and some things aren't. However, if you know that you're in a league and you're representing them, they can choose how they want to be represented. So he who holds the goals make the rules. Last, a lesson not learned will be repeated. I'm going to repeat that. A lesson not learned will be repeated. Peace.